Dear Chartered Accountants, provisions related to fees relative size containing in Volume 1 of Code of Ethics 2019 will be effective from 1st April 2022. You need to understand these provisions very carefully so that you can be ready to comply with them in next 5 months. We have explained these provisions with help of examples for easy understanding. So let's start. When the total fees generated from an audit client by the firm expressing the audit opinion represent a large proportion of the total fees of that firm, the dependence on that client and concern about losing the client create a self-interest or intimidation threat. Let's take example of Mehta Shah and Company, which is a chartered accountant firm, and they have an audit client by the name Super Industries. Now, if the total fees received from Super Industries forms a significant part of total revenue of the firm, then due to dependency of Mehta Shah and Company on Super Industries, there will be case of intimidation and self-interest. Factors that are relevant in evaluating the level of such threats include the operating structure of the firm, whether the firm is well established or new, the significance of the client qualitatively and or qualitatively to the firm. An example of an action that might be a safeguard to address such a self-interest or intimidation threat is increasing the client base in the firm to reduce dependence on the audit client. A self-interest or intimidation threat is also created when the fees generated by a firm from an audit client represent a large proportion of the revenue of one partner or one office of the firm. Now let's say Mehta Shah and Company Chartered Accountants has two partners, one Mr. Milan Mehta and second Mr. Sudhir Shah. And Mr. Milan Mehta now is handling a client called Super Industries. If the total fees received from Super Industries forms significant part of Mr. Milan Mehta's share in the total revenue of the firm, then even there are chances of intimidation and self-interest. Now let's understand the next part. The firm Mehta Shah and Company Chartered Accountants has three offices, one in Delhi, one in Vadodara and one in Mumbai. The Mumbai office is now rendering service to a client called Super Industries. It is an audit client. And total fees received from Super Industries forms a significant part of Mumbai office's share in the total revenue of the firm. In this case also, the intimidation and self-interest arises. Factors that are relevant in evaluating the level of such threats include the significance of the client qualitatively and or quantitatively to the partner or office, the extent to which the compensation of the partner or partners in the office is dependent upon the fees generated from the client. Examples of action that might be safeguards to address such self-interest or intimidation threats include increasing the client base of the partner or the office to reduce dependence on the audit client. Second, having an appropriate reviewer who did not take part in the audit engagement review the work. Where for 2 consecutive years, the total gross annual professional fees from the audit client and its related entities represent more than 15% of the total fees received by the firm, expressing the opinion on the financial statements of the client, the firm shall A. disclose to those charged with governance of the audit client the fact that for 2 consecutive years, the total of such fees represents more than 15% of the total fees received by the firm, provided that no such ceiling on the total fees of the firm would be applicable where such fees does not exceed 5 lakhs of rupees in respect of a firm, including fees received by the firm for other services rendered through the medium of a different firm or firms in which such member or firm may be a partner or proprietor. Provided further that no such ceiling on the total fees of a firm would be applicable in the case of a audit of government companies or public undertakings, nationalized banks, public financial institutions, or where appointments of auditors are made by the government. And B. Discuss whether either of the following actions might be a safeguard to address the threat created by the total fees for 2 consecutive years received by the firm from the client, and if so, apply it. First is, prior to audit opinion being issued on the third year's financial statements, a professional accountant who is not a member of the firm expressing the opinion on the financial statements performs an engagement quality control review of that engagement, or a professional body performs a review of that engagement that is equivalent to an engagement quality control review, and this is called pre-issuance review. Or second, after the audit opinion on the third year's financial statements has been issued and before the audit opinion been issued on the fourth year's financial statements, a professional accountant who is not a member of the firm expressing the opinion on the financial statements or a professional body performs a review of the second year's audit that is equivalent to an engagement quality control review. This is called post-issuance review. When the total fees for the 2 consecutive years described in para 4 above significantly exceeds 15%, the firm shall determine whether the level of the threat is such that a post-issuance review would not reduce the threat to an acceptable level. If so, the firm shall have a pre-issuance review performed. If the fees for 2 consecutive years described in paragraph 4 above continue to exceed 15%, the firm shall each year thereafter a. disclose to and discuss with those charged with governance the matters set out in paragraph 4 and comply with paragraphs 4b and 5 above.